Professor P.J. Kurian, Deputy Chairperson Rajya Sabha, Shri Kuldeep Nair, Shri Abdul Wahab, Member of Parliament, Dr. Asad Mupan, my fellow members of the jury, Ms. Shehnaz Pakrawan and Mr. Rajrishi Singhal. Would you please stand up? Please give them a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. We also had with us Mr. Rahul Sharma, who unfortunately has not been able to join us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's truly with great happiness that I stand before you today to present the winners of the first edition of the Aster Media Awards. I congratulate and thank Dr. Asad Mupan and the Aster DM Foundation for having instituted these awards, and would like to say how privileged I feel to have been invited to chair the jury for selecting these awards. I stand here not merely in my current capacity as press secretary to the President, a task I've been performing for over 4 years now, but also as a former journalist, a person who served as staff correspondent of the Indian Express for over 2.5 years before joining the Indian Foreign Service, and a person who has spent the bulk of my 30-year career in the Foreign Service dealing with the government's media relations, both within the country as well as abroad. The purpose of the awards has been, I think, repeatedly mentioned this evening. The key and absolutely essential criteria was social impact of the stories. What change did they make in society? We were given a broad rubric: international, India, and Kerala. We, the members of the jury, after going through all the applications which were received, felt that perhaps for the future years the categorization would be better if it is described as print, broadcast, and digital. Also, rather than just keep it as Kerala or confined to Malayalam medium, perhaps vernacular languages could be taken together as a category. English language could be one category as far as India is concerned. And when it comes to international, if the focus is indeed the Gulf, and it is very important that the Gulf, which is so close to India, be paid special attention, then perhaps it could be English and Arabic, which would bring in a new and a special dimension. So these are some of the suggestions from the jury which we had for Dr. Mupan and his team for future years. We were asked to choose 3 awardees, 1 award each in each category, and considering the quality of applications we received, the jury just threw up its hands and said, sorry, this is impossible. So we have ended up choosing 1 winner in the Kerala category, 2 winners in the international category. There's a joint winner, so both were equally good, and 2 winners in the general India category. And to add, because once again, because of an outstanding submission, we decided that there should be special mention of 1 particular article. Friends, in the Kerala category, the story which won our appreciation was by Sinoj Thomas of the Manorama Television News. Sinoj chose to highlight a completely unknown aspect of Kerala. In fact, just now in the panel discussion, there was talk about the Kerala model and the high health indices. The story Sinoj did was about a tribal family in the remote and backward Wayanad district of Kerala, where after the father passed away, the mother and the siblings survived on leftover food from the child's midday program. The teachers in the school knew about the poverty at home and used to send the food in buckets to the home whenever there was leftover. And if there was no leftovers, the family starved. This story, when it came out, was not stifled by the government, was not hushed up by society. Instead, it became a call to action for the government, for political parties, for civil society, for people from Kerala, within Kerala, as well as abroad. The government suddenly realized that none of its programs for the tribals were actually reaching the tribals. That even though Kerala boasts some of the best delivery mechanisms, this delivery was not happening when it comes to some people in the state, and they sprang into action. The local legislator went into action. Political parties went into action. Film stars came up offering money. Non-resident Indians came forward offering money. So as a result of this story, not only did the life of one family completely change, but the entire approach of the government and civil society to such unseen problems amidst them was transformed. So please give a big hand to Sinoj Thomas. In the international category, the awards go to two people, both from the Gulf, Sajila Sashindran of the Khalij Times and Anand Raj of the Gulf News, both leading English newspapers of UAE. Sajila Sashindran wrote a story on an innovation which the government of India introduced called the e-migrate system, which was meant to prevent exploitation of workers and to ensure that they get their minimum wages. But instead, because the system had been introduced without adequate tests, it started working to the detriment of workers, and because of this new system, workers started losing jobs. Sajila's reports resulted in a series of changes by the government of India in the e-migrate system. The changes in the e-migrate system were in fact announced by the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi himself, when he addressed a large Indian community gathering in Dubai. And the entire system, as a result of this report, was revamped, bringing great relief to the workers and protecting them from exploitation. Similarly, the second story by Anand Raj of the Gulf News highlighted a fascinating example of a village school in Kerala being completely transformed through the CSR initiative of an NRI, Mr. Faisal Kutikolan, based in UAE. Mr. Faisal and his wife Shabana, who had established a foundation, went into a crumbling old school, completely dismantled the old infrastructure, created brand new world-class infrastructure which any school anywhere in the world would be proud of. And as a result, within a very short time, they were able to show a huge leap in the morale of the teachers, in the morale of the students, leading to outstanding performance of the students. And this school has now been adopted by the Kerala government as a model for its Mission 100. The Kerala government is attempting to create 100 such schools within a short span of time, and hopefully many, many more. Once again, both these stories were classic examples of social impact leading to long-term change. In the India category, please give them a big hand. In the India category, we have Sarika Malhotra of the Business Today, who did a comprehensive story on the problem of child labor in our country. The headlines read, "An invisible workforce is making in India for the world." It talked about how even today, despite all the efforts by the government, child labor is rampant across the country, especially in the export industries. And the other story was by Manoj Sharma of the Hindustan Times about a fascinating publication called Balak Nama, of street children for street children. Honestly, I think I, as well as all members of the jury, were so delighted and surprised to see the story, and we felt sad that we hadn't seen it earlier, or we hadn't known about it earlier. But for those here who have not seen the story, you must not only see the story, you must go and discover more about how street children organize themselves as editors, as journalists, write about their problems, and are not only enjoying the work they do as cub journalists, but also taking their problems to the world, seeking solutions, and drawing the world's attention to them. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand to Sarika Malhotra and Manoj Sharma. Last but not the least is a story which we felt deserves a special mention. This was by Ashish Sharma of the Hindustan Times, and it had a fascinating title of The Gunslinger Grannies. It talks about the gunslinger grannies of Uttar Pradesh, where in a village, ladies of 72 and 80 are taking guns in their arms and competing in shooting events. As a result, first they broke the barrier by not being ashamed to go into a very macho sport like shooting. And then as a result of their involvement and their commitment and their passion, villagers, women, young girls are all taking up the sport in a big way, bringing a small district of Haryana something like 41 medals in international competitions. I think we in India have just seen how well our women have done in the Olympics. This is a wonderful story which breaks the gender divide, which breaks the age divide, and which truly tells a story of empowerment of women, which is inspiring to one and all. The jury felt Mr. Ashish Sharma of Hindustan Times deserves a very special mention. Please give him a big hand. Friends, as you would have seen from the discussions earlier in the evening, we meet at a time when the media and journalism in general seems to be going through a period of crisis. This is not just in India, but across the world. Across the world, newspapers are unable to make money. They are shutting down. More and more news is going digital, and they are available for free. In India, we heard talk about the television channels, the shouting, the screaming, the TRP, the battle for the TRP ratings. There is a fear amongst many that journalism, as it was known, is dying, if not already dead. There is much talk about political bias in reporting, which makes the average viewer or reader difficult to understand whose agenda is being promoted by whom. There is talk about managements getting rid of editors completely and running publications and television channels in pursuit of their business interests. There is a mood of intolerance in many parts of our country and the world, where dissent of any kind is stifled. It becomes extremely difficult for journalists to practice their profession without fear of their life and their security. We have also heard of paid news. We have heard of sensationalism. We have heard about tabloidization. In these gloomy times, these journalists who have written these wonderful articles bring a whiff of fresh air. They bring us faith and they bring us hope, both in the media as well as in our society at large. Friends, a strong and vibrant media is the bedrock of any democratic society. Today, as we celebrate the success of these winners, along with them, we celebrate the victory of free speech, the victory of quality journalism, and the conviction that the media can be a powerful tool to produce social change for the better. I congratulate all the winners. I thank Dr. Asad and his team for having instituted these awards. And I thank you for having listened to me patiently. Thank you very much.